GSL Season 2.
And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the final series of the broadcast. Welcome back to the 2026 GSL Season 2 Round of 8 Group A broadcast. We have our first player advancing on in Hero, and we have our first player being eliminated in Clem. Clem, he is out of the GSL. We just saw him struggle a little bit more here against Classic. Man, I say struggle, there was a back and forth, very intense back and forth dynamic series. Classic, he will advance on to the final series, to the decider match to face off against Cure for one final chance, one final slot in the top 4 in the semifinals. Let's go. One spot left here. Either Classic or Cure will advance on into the top 4. Who's it going to be? Another Protoss or a Terran player. Let's go as the PvTs continue. Again, Classic and Cure are just getting ready here. Vetoes are underway, and soon we'll be jumping into that final series. Let's go. Now, when it comes to Cure's TVP matchup, we'll discuss it. As up first, we have Classic. Classic again get a nail-biting series versus Clem. Very close, very intense, very back and forth, but he barely made it through. But it's not over yet. He has another Terran Titan ahead of him here. Clem's teammate, a player that does often share builds with Clem. Both on Team Liquid, of course, and a beast in his own right. Here he is, Cure. Cure. He has some of the best TVP in the world, and if you recall, earlier we showcased Cure versus Clem, and Cure had a very aggressive style. We saw nothing but all-ins, non-stop all-ins, non-stop pulling the boys. Cure was very in the face of Clem. But does he show that again, or is he forced to play mid-game? Is he forced to macro instead against Classic after showcasing that more aggressive style? We don't want to rely on that too much here, not in this group. Nowhere in Classic, I'm sure, was watching those games. I'm sure he was watching. Here we go, Vitas are done. Classic does get rid of Tourmaline, Mothership, and White Rabbits. Cure gets rid of Old Republic, Central Enclave, and Title Citadel. We have Winter Madness, 10,000 feet, and Ruby Rock. Let's go, let us start. Let's jump in. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the South Korean Protoss player for Virtus Pro. It is a Classic. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have a Team Liquid. It is Cure. Let's go. Let us go. You can see here the recent head-to-head scores between both Classic and Cure, online and offline. Very close between the two of them. Online slightly in favor of Classic, offline slightly in favor of Cure. So again, this can go either way. I'm hoping for an ace match. I'm hoping for a game 3, but the pressure is on. Let's go. Now again, if you missed out on Cure's previous matches, he was hyper aggressive versus Clem, non-stop 2 base all-ins, 2 base all-in after 2 base all-in after 2 base all-in. Technically, Cure did go for an he went for like a 1-2 punch on Winter Madness earlier. So did Clem. He went for the same build, by the way. But now Classic is a time to kind of let all that sink in, to be able to learn from that experience here. Eyes are on Cure though, as he does hide his SCV. So Cure does avoid the main scouting path, coming in for the eBay block. So Cure, he will delay the expansion of Classic. At the same time, Classic also avoids the main scouting pattern to go across the map as well. Just looking to hit that natural base, so no proxy, no shenanigans out of Classic, but he's forced to take the unnatural natural. Already a nice start for Cure. Very nice start. Ooh, he will not deny the triangular third base, as he was a little bit too late. Yeah, late reaction, late response here by Cure. So the ideal situation, the ideal scenario here is if Cure was able to eBay block the natural and then SCV block the triangular third, he would have forced the low ground expand, and then he could all in, right? Then he could be hyper aggressive, and Classic would have had a very hard time defending. This time instead, we see Classic going for his third base, which is less ideal, but could have been worse. Could have been worse here for Classic, as he does take the unnatural natural. We'll see if Classic can minimize losses. Likewise, Cure does go Rax expand. He does not prioritize the factory. So economic follow-up here to Cure, as our players are building up from here. Just catching up with the chat. That's why I always up cheering South Korean SE2. I mean, we cast everything: European StarCraft, American StarCraft, Korean StarCraft. We cast more StarCraft than anyone else out there. More than Wardy, more than Steadfast. That's what we do, baby. That's who we be. To be fair, recently we've been dialing it back a little bit. 2026 has been a little bit leaner for us as we've been taking care of ourselves a little bit and sleeping a little bit more and casting less European events, less than usual. But we're taking it a little bit easier this year. We're still casting twice a day every day, but taking it easy. For those who weren't here for it, we were live earlier this morning with Pegasus Cup. Pegasus Cup was this morning. GSL this evening. She's at, did Clem get eliminated? Yes. Clem, he did get eliminated. He is out of the GSL. Ooh, nice catch here by Cure. Got a very intense series versus Classic. So frustrating, I was rooting for Clem. Yeah, it would have been nice to have seen Clem in Korea for sure, 100%. It's just this is a group of death, right? We were discussing this at the start of the broadcast, and we have a little bit of downtime here to discuss the rest of our game state. Again, I was having a really hard time predicting this group because we had Hero, Classic, Cure, and Clem. Any of those 4 players could have made it through. Like, it was not going to be easy for anyone. So it was just a really unfortunate group for Clem because he was in a group of Titans, a group of death. Yeah. But here we go. We see Cure pushing out early on, bearing in mind that he does not have Stim or anything of that nature, but Marines and a Cyclone. We'll see if he can catch a Stalker. Thankfully, Classic does have his battery in position, so he can defend. He can hold. If you recall, we saw the same build, the same opener from Cure versus Clem earlier. Cyclone does get the lock on, the battery is in position, and Classic defends. So far, so good. We can see Cure reinforcing, though. Is rallying his tank across the map. Cure, he wants to try to break through. Backing up. Just a repair, okay. As we can see that Cure is still reinforcing. What's he making? Vikings and tanks. With Viking reinforcements, it's basically an all-in. So Cure is going for a massive all-in. No Stim in production, no upgrades on the way. Does he get a tank shot off? He does! Massive shot! Yeah, massive tank shots. With these Viking reinforcements, they're designed to land. Landed Vikings do a surprising amount of damage to gateway units, so this is a straight up all in here from Cure. Does repair the Cyclone. A couple of boys are pulled. It's all or nothing for Cure. This is it. He lands the Viking. This is his moment. And Classic's out of position. And you can see Classic with most of his army across the map. Classic is not ready for this. He's in trouble. Cure moves in. Yeah, he moves in, does siege up within range of the expansion. Battery goes down, Classic trying to come in from behind, but again, these reinforcements, this army is so late. He gets 2 Marines. Yeah, 2 Marines go down, but the Viking is behind the tanks. He's ready. He's ready for the dive. You can see the boys are repairing. Ooh, and the tanks, they still go down. The Immortal, wow, the Immortal comes in. Massive shots going off, the tanks go down, and Classic is holding. Yeah, Classic, he does hold. The Nexus survives. Nice blink control. The Stalkers are very low here. But now there are no more tanks, no more Cyclones, no more Vikings. Only a handful of the Marines. And here we go. He blinks on in. We'll bleed out a couple of Stalkers, but again, the all-in has failed. Whew. Again, intense defense there from Classic, leading out 2 probes. 2 probes, 1 Immortal, 7 Stalkers. A stronger trade here for Classic. Cure behind this, remember, he has no upgrades. He has nothing. He has no Stim, combat shields +1. Upgrades were left by the wayside. They fell by the wayside in favor of this timing. Third CC's on the way, a very delayed third base, delayed +1, delayed everything. Now there is a way to recover here. Cure has a chance to maybe find some damage. He's going for some Viking harass. He can maybe punch these Stalkers, but the pressure is on Cure. We blink in. Unfortunately, not Stim. Denies combat shields and will bleed out a couple of Stalkers. At the same time, nice Viking harass. That's a lot of Stalkers being thrown away here. This was expensive harass out of Classic. As the Viking does get 3 probes. Okay, not a bad amount of damage. 3 workers go down. Cure claiming his 3rd base. And again, I'm sure the Classic was hoping there's a nice Stim. He's moving out of this War Prism. There's a world where maybe Classic dives into the main base once again and goes for the other upgrade. There is room. Yeah, there's room in the main. Prism has arrived. Does Classic dive? He's going for the tank. And the tank will go down. But he doesn't blink into the main base. So Stim will finish. Stim will complete. Ooh, Prism gets cornered. Does it go down? Jesus. Barely gets away. Classic, cuidado. Be careful, Piper. Be careful. And for Mirror, Classic claiming a 4th base, building up his Colossus, looking very comfortable. Greens are denied, and do we get the medevac? We do. Massive pickup. Full medevac goes down. Again, because Kira's behind, he's desperate for damage. That's why he's going for these drops. That's why he's taking some risks. He needs to. Just staying at home and macroing is not good enough. Oh. Classic wants to hit his timing. Thermal Lance is still not yet done. Classic wants to move in. Going for the Colossus drop. Let's go. Drops into the mineral line. Free damage. Catching out 2, 4 SCVs. Very nicely done. There's nothing to be afraid of. We can just pick up and pull away. And nothing major, but he's slowly getting damage here, and he's slowly getting more ground. Classic claims his 4th base, now claiming a 5th base. Classic has map control, and you can see him snowballing out control. We spoke about this in the previous series, where Classic, he has the best late game PvT out there in the world. Better than Max, better than Hero. This is where Classic thrives, and he's been unable to really get here in any game up until this point in the broadcast. But Kira's forced into a longer game due to the failed all-in, and now Classic can thrive. Now Classic can just spread his wings. As he double expands, taking both high yield gas bases. Yeah, both expansions in the center. Crazy greed. But I mean, again, Kira can't stop him. Right? Kira, he cannot stop him. What can he do, Pappy? What can he do? Ah. Now, the best that Kira can hope for is to turtle up on 4 bases. We spoke about this previously in previous matchups, so may as well bring it up here. But welcome to Winter Madness. Winter Madness, you do have a relatively secure 4-base setup. The 5th base is more difficult to take, but there's definitely a world where Kira can just turtle up and claim a 4th, and then max out. The issue, though, is taking a 5th expansion from there. And we'll see if Kira can even maintain that 4th. Here we go, 4th base is on the way. Going for the sensor tower. Classic is maxing out. Does get eyes on the expand. Classic has to be careful. The Colossus taking a lot of hits. Yeah, the Colossi, they have to back up. Ooh, and heavy losses here for Classic, losing 2 Colossus. Yeah, Classic, we don't have to push into this. He does not have to move in. He gets punished for it. Better fight for Cure. Cure's breaking out. He's trying to. The army's overstimmed. Few medevacs. Prism into the main base, is unable to warp in. Nice defense here by Cure. But Cure cannot push. He cannot break out across the map. He gets punished for it as he tries. And if you notice, but Curie just lost a bunch of Vikings. Oh no, the Zelta got into the natural, and the warp in, he commits to the warp in, he gets in. He gets in, he just tears Curie apart. Zelta in the main, Zelta in the natural, main army into the 3rd. And Curie just doesn't have to supply here. Again, after the failed all-in, it was a long shot to recover in this game. GG gets called, and Classic takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Classic does take a lead in the series, winning it back here once again. The reason why this looks so dominant from Classic towards the end is because of the beginning, is because of the 2-base all-in that Cure went for. The game did continue after it failed, but Cure was behind, right? He was playing from behind the entire time, as he was behind in bases, behind in upgrades, he had no momentum either. He was stuck at home, and Classic could do whatever he wanted. That's why he mass expanded, because Cure could not stop him. Not after such a rough start. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into game number 2, and we'll see if Classic can close it out here and now. We'll see if Cure can force the ace match. Now, ideally, we get an ace match, regardless of who wins, whether it's Classic or Cure. I'd love to see a game 3, but the pressure is on as we load into 10,000 feet. Let's go. Whew, let us go. We're going to be loading into one of the smaller maps of the map pool, short rush distance by ground, and we expect another all-in out of Cure. We saw nothing but all-ins between Cure and Clem. We saw the same thing here against Classic in game 1. It's with our own unique all-in, of course. No upgrades, no stim, but committing with Vikings and tanks, just rallying everything across the map. Show us what you got here on 10,000 feet. Let's go. Let's go. Let's start. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the South Green Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss representing Virtus Pro. It is a Classic. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Green Terran player for Team Liquid. It is Cure. And here we go. Classic needs one more game to claim the series and to advance on into the top 4. Meanwhile, Cure needs one more win to force the ace match. To force the ace match, to have a chance at redemption, to have a chance to advance on in a Classic stead. Oh boy. So now we're going to be opening up. Once again, welcome to 10,000 feet. A shorter rush distance by ground, smaller map, but more defendable bases here. We mentioned earlier that your initial 4-base setup is quite secure here on 10,000 feet. Despite that, though, again, Cure does not want to macro. He does, based on this broadcast, Cure, he does not want to macro. He does not want to slow the game down. If he can avoid it, he doesn't want to take a 3rd base. At least that's what he's shown us so far. As a result, we should be seeing some safer play at a Classic. Safer play. Let's see. For now, economic opener. Cure does go for a gas expand, single gas opener into a faster command center. So faster CC out of Cure. Cure is crazy. See, papi, see. As there's a command center, Classic moving in for the scouts, confirming the builds, confirming the gases. Should not get the probe out though. Even with a recall, yeah, will be caught. Will be caught out. From here we have our tech of choice, going to be a Twilight Council opener out of Classic. Does open Twilight Council into most likely Blink. And the question becomes how many gateways? We did see previously a couple of Protoss players go for a 2-gate Blink opener into a 3rd base, into greedier builds and greedier styles. We actually saw that between Classic and Clem. So I'm sure Classic is tempted. The temptations are there. So we have our Cyclone on the way. Once again, looks like the same builds. What I mean by that, if you remember, last game, what did we have? We had a Cure going for a Reactor Marine into Cyclone, into Medevac, into early push across the map. Last game specifically, Cure he reinforced with a tank and with a Viking. You don't have to though. You can macro behind this, but so far the opener is the same. Whether or not the follow-up is the same, yet to be confirmed. As here comes that Cyclone and Medevac. Again, early push out of Cure. I don't want to call this an all-in yet, just because we don't see how committed Cure is. If he were to go for the all-in, he'd go for a tank behind this. But now it does get the lock-on. Lock-on is broken. Classic does pull away. And you can see the factory does lift and does go for the add-on swap. So it looks like he's not going for additional tanks and he's not going for the additional Viking. So same opener, but more of a macro follow-up. As there are the add-on swaps. Much more standard play here by Cure. Now that the Medevac has arrived, Cure should be pushing. Yep, there we go. Oh, never mind. He keeps the army back at home and he's moving out with only and purely the Medevac. Meanwhile, we have Classic going for a greedier build. He went 2-gate blink. 2-gate blink into a robo followed by the expansion. This isn't as greedy as we saw previously. Previously, we had Classic going 2-gate blink into the Nexus. Here is 2-gate blink into robo, then Nexus. Still greedy, but more on the safer side. As Curie's moving out to harass with the Raven. Outside of that, he's just building up his forces. Now, the next big thing we're looking for here is whether or not Cure continues tank production. Right now, he's making 2 tanks, which is fine, but does he get a 3rd tank as well? Does he try to move out with 3 tanks and with Stim? Does he commit? Does he pull the boys? We cannot rule that out. Not with how Cure's been playing tonight. As Curie does catch a probe, not bad. 1 probe goes down. We add-on swap. Okay, so only 2 tanks, then add-on swaps into the tech lab on the racks. So we have a standard follow-up here. No 3rd tank. It's looking like a macro game. It's looking more and more like a macro game here. We'll see. As here comes the big gun siege. Cure, he's gonna push. As he moves out, the observer does spot the move out. Classic is aware. And as Cure moves out, Classic moves in. Yeah, he does move in, catching us some of the depots. No major damage though. You can see Cure coming in from the right hand side, trying to flank the army. Observer gets out of range of the scan. And Classic pulls away. So a bit of a lackluster blink out of Classic. Cure, he still commits across the map. Gets spotted. Classic is getting ready. Charge, I believe, is done. Yep, charge is complete. There's 1 Colossus to defend. Classic, he's looking pretty secure. Especially with delayed reinforcements. Speaking of, Classic, he does dive in. Yeah, he gets a tank, gets a Marauder as well. Does trade with the army at the same time, collapsing on the tank as well. Yeah, we'll force a pickup. Ooh, no pickup. Tank goes down. He has some heavy losses here from Cure. Classic has to get the hell out of here. He has to blow away with the Colossus. And he does make it back home. Yeah, he makes it back home. And Cure, he just lost all of his tanks. Every tank just went down. Raven as well. Yep, 2 tanks were killed. It was only 2. And Cure, he has nothing to push with. I mean, still has some bio on the ground, but the main army is nowhere near as strong as it once was. Despite that, double jump into the main base. Classic is in position. Is he ready in the main? Pan to the main, Pappy. Pan to the main. Ooh, force a recall. Yeah, we'll force a recall. 5, 6, 7, 8 probes going down. Very nice target firing. 12. Oh my god. 12 probe kills. Classic completely out of position. Very nicely done here. Curie doesn't kill, but he does cripple. He cripples Classic. That is critical damage. Classic, he needs to counterattack. But once again, you can see Classic pushing through the center, and Cure, he may even force a base trade. How does he engage? He's going for the main army. Uh-oh. Can he get... He wants it! He wants the Colossus! He stims! Yeah, he stims in, and he's gonna get a Colossus for free. Massive pickup. Colossus goes down. Heavy losses here for Classic. 1 Colossus left. Orbit engage. Vikings, they just get free damage. And Curie may have just done it. He may just have enough here. It's still going to be quite close. Tries to stim in. 1 more volley. Can he get it? He can. Yeah, Colossus goes down. Again, heavy losses for Classic, losing everything, being torn apart. And with that, we look to be going to an ace match. As Classic, he's down in workers here, now down in army. Cure, he's rallying across the map. He's still rallying. Oh my god, the drop getting out of hand. 3 more probe kills. Curie stims. Going for the robo. And what does Classic have? What does he have left? He has nothing. He has 3 zealots. Oh no. Down to 2, down to 1. Down to 0. 0 zealots remaining. Trying to force some friendly fire. Robo gets depowered. And again, initially Classic had the stronger defense, but he was just torn apart. He was just torn apart by the multi-pronged aggression. Very nice drop play out of Cure. Drags the army into mines. And Curie just doesn't back off. Just keeps the pressure up. If he so chooses to, he can land the Vikings. And I feel like he should. There we go. Lands the Vikings, keeps moving in. Robo still depowered. There's no Colossus. 1-1 is on the horizon, but that should not be enough. Not against this kind of army. Classic warping in as best he can. Trying to survive that. He's trying. And hey, the Stalkers try to hold their own. Massive losses. 2 more Stalkers go down. Mine shots into the mineral line. Oh, base out the charge. Nicely done. Does focus fire, and with that, again, there's just 1 Stalker. There's 1 Stalker remaining. GG gets called, and we are going all the way to game number 3. Whew, GG. GG, well played again. Very nice multi-pronged aggression out of Cure. Initially, the first push was shut down. I was very impressed by Classic collapsing on the tanks, catching reinforcements, and shutting down the first army. And then Cure, he ramped it up here, double jump into the main base, main push on the right-hand side, and Classic, he did not split his army. He did not split his army. It was all clumped together. He was forced to react to one, then the other, back and forth. Eventually, Classic had enough. He pushed across the map through the center, and he got caught with his pants down. The pants were down. Colossus is completely exposed, and that all just snowballed into a win. Cure, he just collapsed on the army, got a full surround, cleaned everything up, and just kept on rallying from there. The F2 across the map, and Classic could not stop the momentum of Cure. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into the ace match. It all ends here. It all ends on Ruby Rock. Let's go. Whew. Let us go. We've gone the distance here. We've gone all the way, Pappy, all the way. And here we go. Loading into that third and final game, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the South Korean Protoss player. For Virtus Pro, it is Classic. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. For Team Liquid, it is Cure. Let's go. Let us go, as we do have our final game of the broadcast. It all ends here. It all ends on Ruby Rock. Once again, one of these 2 players will advance on into the top 4. It's going to be either Classic or Cure. One or the other. Only one, Pappy, only one. And welcome to Ruby Rock. Ruby Rock is one of the smaller maps in the map pool. Aggression is favored. The third base is open. The area in between the bases are open as well, so we do often see shorter games on this map. I feel like this is where Cure can thrive. He can thrive on these smaller maps here. Double gas open out of Cure. Faster factory. There's no eBay shenanigans. No faster CC. Up on the side of Classic, we're expecting something safer here. Just 3-gate blink into a robo. Last game, remember, it was 2-gate blink, so we had a faster third. This time, we should be seeing a delayed third expansion out of Classic, just because the map does favor more aggression. But we'll see. I mean, that's where mind games come into play. You could make an argument that, like, because aggression is favored here, maybe Cure tries to subvert those expectations and go for something more economic, and Classic doesn't want to fall behind. Or on the flip side, you can pull a hero and you can be the aggressor instead. True. You can opt to be hyper aggressive. I mean, hey, that's what Hero did. If you recall, in the last series, Hero, he went for a proxy Stargate on this very map. And completely shut Cure down. We'll see. But we shall see. Now we're calming down. Reaper does move out across the map. Does poke in. Nothing major. Safety battery here out of Classic. And Cure does open up Reaper Hellion. Nothing too committed here, but just a couple of Reapers, a couple of Hellions. The goal here should be economic damage. The goal would be to either bust into the main or bust into the natural, bust into both, and look for probe kills. the pressure is going to be on Cure. As of course, Reaper Heli does not scale well into a longer game. Shade is cancelled. And Curie moves out. Now there is going to be battery in both bases. In both mineral lines. Classic, he wants to get a shot off. Reaper's a bust into the main. Again, batteries in position. Oh. Hellion is activated. We can see the Hellion in the minimap going towards the natural. Hellion moves in. The battery so far keeping up with the Reapers. And Stalkers in the natural base as well. Very nice defense here by Classic. He will shut this all down. 0 damage dealt. Picks off one of the Reapers. Did I speak too soon? Hellion's they dive in. They can two-shot. Yeah, they can two-shot probes. They get 1-2 probes so far. Can we get more? Not quite. Yeah, oh my, the warp in as well. Classic, calm down. Very nice warp in, and with that, 2 probes for what? For 3 Reapers, sorry, for 2 Reapers and 2 Hellions so far. A better trade here for Classic. A better defense. He holds well. As a 1 Reaper gets away. Behind this, we have Cure going for his own. Oh, going for his own 1-1 follow-up. Racks in the factory into starport. Medevac is intercepted. At the same time, I believe there's a Widowmine waddling into the natural. Yeah, you can see it. There it is. He's waddling in. He tries. Ooh, does attempt to, but will not bar. At the same time, Medevac goes down. Heavy losses here for Cure. Ooh, doesn't retarget with that Widowmine either. And no retargeting. 2 probes going down, but this was for 2 Widowmines and for a Medevac and for a Reaper as well. So once again, a cleaner defense here from Classic, assuming that he cleans up this Widowmine. Uh-oh. As we should not let it reset. Classic. Okay, he notices. He notices, but doesn't matter. Yeah, okay, there we go. Cleans it up just in time. Behind this, oh, we haven't seen this tonight. We're not going for a charge into Colossus follow-up, we're going charge into Storm. Okay. For the first time this broadcast. For the first time earlier, Storm. We did see Storms previously in today's broadcast, that is true, but that was typically in the mid-game afterwards. Not as an opener. As we look to establish our third. Meanwhile, Cure, he's getting a 3rd CC. Oh, this is a bold move, but Cure, he's intentionally embracing the mid-game. Again, for the first time tonight. He's building up into the mid-game. He's playing Classic's game. Again, not easy to play past 3 bases here in TVP. Now the map may just help Cure in a sense. As I mentioned previously, the bases are a little bit more spread out and exposed and vulnerable. It is difficult for the Protoss player to... no, I was going to say it's difficult for the Terran actually, for the Terran player to maintain a higher base count. So that's why I'm concerned for Cure. I have concerns. Lacking the drop play. Double drop on the top side. Storm is done. Storm is complete. Oh, it was a charge base opener, not blink. Oh, my apologies. I just assumed it was going to be blink stalkers, but no, it's charge instead. So that was a misread at a Classic. Typically, early charge is ideal against like committed 2-base all-ins. As Curie stems in, Classic's out of position. He will lose a Templar. Yeah, massive big up here. 1 Templar goes down. Gets into the mineral line. Classic just completely out of position. And that's in the blink of an eye. 10 probes. Bam! 10 probes go down. You can see just how punishing the TVP can be. Really, all matchups. But very punishing. Classic moving into the main. Hoping for some equalizing damage. Cure, he responds. Oh my god, the storms! It does go for the storm drop, but that's going to be 9, 10, 11 SCV kills. Crazy. Does recall, saves the Archon, the Prism does go down. But we have a game. We have a back and forth. Still some expensive losses there for classes. Lose that first Prism, to lose that first High Templar and the Prism. So we have somewhat of a back and forth here. Army's in favor of Cure, but there are storms on the field. At the same time, Cure going for an early academy. Yeah, early academy, early ghost production. This will be ideal for Cure. He will soon have EMPs. Meanwhile, that is another storm drop. It's 2 High Templar and 2 Zealots. This is expensive. It's an expensive drop, and there are Vikings. Remember, recall's on cooldown. We just used the recall on the Archon. Don't know if this is too wise here. Like, sure, we're going for economic damage. At the same time, Cure is pushing through the center. And Classic does not know. Runs into the army. Oh, the movement. Yeah, Panic Storm. Warping into the main. Bet much. Oh my, he stands in the storms. Oh my god. He stands in the storms. He went back inside. Meanwhile, massive storm across the map as well. 16 SCV kills, insane storms. But what about the main army? What about the main army? Here come the EMPs. Yeah, massive EMP connects. Cure, he has to go in. Takes down the Archon. Another EMP on the Stalkers, and this main army here from Classic is struggling. The Colossus will not get away. Yeah, hunted down. Again, we had some nice counter damage, that's great and all, but what about the main fights? As Curie just snowballing out of control, he breaks the forward expansion. Curie can tank all the storms to the face, but at the end of the day, he's still breaking through. No, free Colossus! Yeah, he gets a free Colossus as well. Miss rally at Classic, miss rally, and with that, Curie he's doing it. He's doing it, snowballing out of control, he's breaking through the main army, pushing into the natural, tanks to siege, the army is overstimmed. The army is battered, is bruised, the medevacs are out of energy. But without a well-placed storm, I don't see Classic holding here. I believe there are Templar inside the Prism. I believe there are Templar. Curie sims in. Dragging the army within range of the tank. Storm does connect. Oh my god, massive storms. Oh, Jesus. Insane storms. And Classic, he's cleaning this up. Chasing out the full medevac, massive pickup, takes out the medevacs, takes out the Vikings as well. I was like, without a good storm, I don't see Classic holding. He had a good storm. He had the storms back. True. And with that, we can take a moment. We can take a moment here. So Cure, he's on a 3-base economy back at home. Meanwhile, Classic does have a backup 4th expansion. It is quite far away. It is isolated, but it is there. Has the 4th base. At the same time, Classic moving in. He's moving in. He's got 2 Colossi. Cure, he just loaded up for a drop. So Cure, he has a weaker army at the moment, as he has supply invested into those medevacs. Here are these medevacs here. Cure, he has a very heavy ghost army, but there's not really much support for the ghosts. And that's 4 High Templar. Classic moving in. Waits out the mine shot. Here come the EMPs. While Classic is distracted, Curie does move in across the map. There is a defensive storm. And mainly zones. Yeah, mainly zones away. But Classic does defend. Still very tense. Classic does not find a way into the army, into the 3rd. Cure getting a 4th CC, still very ghost heavy. Classic, he's resaturating. God, his army is very spread out. It's very... But thankfully, Cure is contained. And Cure, he is contained. Classic freely probing up. Getting up to close to 80 workers. Getting back up to 5 bases. And Classic, he could choose to just back off and max out, but no, he wants to move in. War Prism ready for a backstab. Army's at the would-be 4th location. He might even get a kill on the 4th base. Depends how far it does float in. Army gets spotted. Storm does not connect. Prism is denied. Massive pickoff. Prism goes down. Now Cure can focus mainly on this fight. He can focus purely on this engage. There's no harass. There's no distraction. Ooh. EMP connects. Flanking Storm. Uh-oh. Storm. Oh my god. Storm lands. He stands in the Storm. The whole position. Oh god. Tell Sam the Storms. Massive Storm with the Vikings as well. The Storms are insane and the Army's getting cornered. Do we land on the Storm? Nice EMPs, 0 Storms left. Oh my god, EMP everything. Massive EMPs, and with that, Curie takes the fight. He just snowballs out of control. He EMP'd everything. Storms had potential, but there were just so many ghosts. 9 ghosts left over. Heavy losses for Classic. Who cornered who? Bad. True. And here comes Cure. There's the NG overcharge. Once again, Ghost leads away. Oh, EMP does connect. No Storm. The EMPs, they just keep connecting. Snipe on the High Templar as well. No defensive Storms. And once again, without Storms, Classic cannot hold. He cannot hold on. Do you have a Colossus? Vikings are trickling in. EMP on the Colossi as well. Colossus just melts. More EMPs. Once again, just strips away the shields. And Classic making his final stand here. His final stand. It was an intense back and forth, but Classic, he chose to commit into the 4th base and again took a very rough fight. And he had a choice to make. He could have backed off and just focused on his economy and just maxed out, but no, he went for it. Cost him everything. And from here, we have our confirmed 2nd player. Hero does advance on in 1st place, and in 2nd place out of Group A, it's going to be Cure. It's going to be Cure. Storm does zone. Upgrades are denied. And again, you could see Classic, he was shaking his head earlier. He knows, Babby, he knows. As he's stuck in the main. Heard a recall. I think recall into the Ninja expansion. But there's just no beef to the army. There's no backbone, I should say. No Colossus, no Storm, no High Templar, no Disruptors. Without splash damage, what can you do? What can you do, Pat? Yeah, as the 3rd base goes down. Classic down to 3 Stalkers. He does have 3 High Templar, and he will storm the ramp, but I mean, even if Cure takes the Storm to the face, and he does take the Storm to the face, I mean, it's fine. He can afford to. Classic catching reinforcements, force morph in the Archon. Classic doing what he can with what little he has. But there it is, hands off the keyboard. I mean, hey, it's his tournament life, and Classic, he's one of the favorite players to make it far. GG gets called, and Cure, he will claim the series 2-1, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. Hi. GG, well played. Congratulations here. Congratulations to Cure as he will claim the series. Again, a brutal group of death here with Cure, Classic, Clem, and Hero. Any pairing here could have made it through. We could have seen Classic and Hero, Hero and Cure. We could have seen Clem and Cure, Clem and Classic. We could have seen any pairing here. In the end, Cure and Hero will advance on into the semis. My condolences to Classic. As a Classic, he's one of the best pro players in the world. He's top 2. He's top 2 alongside Hero. He's deserving to be in the top 4, but barely not here. GG all played again. A very close, very clutch series. Could have gone either way. Congratulations to Cure. Congratulations. I believe we are getting ready for a winners interview here. I can't wait to hear Tasos ask Cure what are his expectations coming into the semis, and Cure to because that's all he knows how to ask, Bap. Yeah. We'll see what State brings to the table. Sometimes he does have a little bit more of a nuanced question. Curious if he has a more general question about TVP for Cure and his outlook. Cure was hyper aggressive this broadcast. But I feel like we already know the answer to that if that's a question, but here we go.
All right, Kira, congratulations on your victory. You were the last to survive today. Now, you were able to take down Clem's Protoss and Classics Protoss, but you lost to Hero. How do you feel about your TVP right now? Do you think you can take Hero down in the offline finals?
일단 김덕
It's not bad.
선수 승리 축하드리고요.
I like the question. I like the phrasing.
일단 토스전을 다 치르시면서 이렇게 진출하게 되셨는데.
So talking about the question itself, I like that this was more player specific and less generic about TVP. I think that's better asking about specific players.
그래서 다음에 이제 오프라인 파이널 무대에서는 김준호 선수의 프로토스 상대로 좀 이길 수 있을 것 같은지 좀 대체적인 좀 태프전 좀 실력에 대해서 평가를 좀 해주시죠.
아무래도 준호 형이랑 하면 누구나 다 알겠지만 좀 수비하면서 해야 되는데 저도 토스전을 하게 되면 못 참는 성격이어서 일단 빌드 준비한 대로 하다가 또 이번에도 좀 허무하게 져버린 것 같아서 좀 많이 아쉬운데 다음에 만나게 된다면 좀 운영도 할 수 있게끔 기본기 위주로 최대한 준비하면 좋을 것 같아요.
Yeah, so unlike any other Protoss, facing Hero, you need to be defensive. You know it. But that being said, I was so focused on myself and my build, and sometimes I get so emotional sometimes, so I get carried away on my emotions. So I think that went way offline, way off there. So in later games, when I face if I face Hero in later matches, then I'll have to fix on those issues.
Congratulations on advancing today. What are your expectations going into the round of 4? Can you win this season at GSL?
지난 시즌 이제 4강
Did you hear that? Tasteless instead of what are your goals? What are your expectations? Yo, he switched the word, Babby. True.
일단 최근에 최대한
He's crazy. He's mixing up his questions.
올리고 있고
He's branching out.
저번 시즌에는 제가 생각해도 조금
He's got a thesaurus for like goals. He's gonna
하는데 이번 시즌은
come up with some new words to put in there to mean the same thing.
좀 실력이 올라오고 있는 것 같아서 이번 시즌은 결승 이상 꼭 가도록 하겠습니다.
Yeah, last season, I think I was a little off, honestly. So I practiced a lot to get in my best shape, best form this season. So I'll try my best to win the trophy this time.
Okay, best of luck and thank you for the interview.
네, 감사합니다.
I think a better question here would have been, especially because State's question was very TVP related. I think this is where it would have been better if we had a second caster here to come in and to be like, hey, clearly your TVP is looking very strong and you're taking Hero seriously. How do you feel about your other matchups, right? TVT, TVZ, like against a potential Maru, against a potential Shin in the finals, of course. Like, do you have any concerns regarding that? Is this kind of like your main fixation point? I ask this because if you remember, Hero defeated Cure in the semifinals last season as well. He beat Cure in the last offline event, in the last semis of GSL, and this is kind of where a lot has been fixated on. But it'd be nice to like asking about some of the other matchups that we did not get to see last season because it was up against Hero. Regardless, we now have our second group for tomorrow. It's going to be Maru, Shin, Zaun, and Rogue. 2 Zergs, 1 Protoss, and 1 Terran player here. And again, it's going to be these players that are going to be facing off against Hero and Cure in the offline finals, or whoever makes it out of this group, of course. We'll see who it's going to be. Again, that's going to be tomorrow in less than 24 hours. We'll see you then for the final day of Group Stage 2. Coming into this, eyes are going to be on Maru and Shin, but I can definitely see things going awry here and potentially Rogue, especially in ZVZ, popping off. Like, that's definitely a matchup where he can excel. Zaun, likewise, depending on his practice, and I'm sure that Classic was helping him out once again. We'll see how he does show off and does pop off here in the group stage as well. best of luck. Best of luck to all the players. Meanwhile, if you happen to be in Korea, if you happen to be local or traveling to Korea soon, then tickets will soon be open. Ticket sales are going to be available on the 1st of June, and the semis and finals, the offline event, is occurring here on the 7th of June on Sunday. Ticketlink.co.korea or .kr is going to be the link, of course, to be able to order those tickets, to get your reservations, and to go to said potential final GSL of the year. For those who do not know, right now crowdfunding is going on to fund season 3, but we're not there yet. So it all depends on the community support. The community support from the fans of StarCraft to see whether or not we get a 3rd season. Otherwise, this will be the final season of 2026 before getting into the off-season GSL CK and then 2027. As you can see here, we do have the current crowdfunding goals. 6,000 a month we have already reached. That is for 2 GSL CKs a month. Then we have our next goal of $10,000 a month, which will be GSL Season 3. And again, we're still making our way there. Currently, I believe we're just under 8K, just under $8,000 on the Patreon, on the funding. So we're almost there, but we're running out of GSL days, right? Like we're running out of GSL days. We don't really have too many days remaining here, too many costs remaining for GSL, so hopefully we can reach a GSL Season 3, but even if we don't, we at least have GSL CK. True, we at least have CK, which has been a lot of fun. Again, if you want to support GSL, you can do so via Patreon, patreon.com/GSL. Meanwhile, as you can see here, we do have, oh my god, we do have our broadcast schedule. We have the GSL Group A and Group B today and tomorrow. We have the RSL finals this weekend, and then we have Maestro's other game throughout the course of the week. Group stage day 1, 2, 3, and 4. The schedule does have us listed as casting it in English, and we were tempted to cast, but it is very late for us, and I think in the end we're going to decide not to cover it in English, just as a heads up. We usually do. I mean, last year we did cover all of Masters of the Game, but we might just settle for replay coverage instead. I'll have to discuss it with Kura, and we'll decide together how we want to approach it. But nowadays we do take our sleep a little bit more seriously, and we try to rest, and we try to stay with a somewhat consistent schedule. We might be tempted to do it anyway. We'll see. It's just a little bit complicated because we have other responsibilities nowadays. Without bunnies, baby, without bunnies. Whew. Otherwise, with that, thanks for watching. Thanks so much for the support. We do appreciate it. So we're going to be wrapping up here for the evening, and we'll be back tomorrow for GSL, the round of 8, Group B. Likewise, when it comes to our schedule, actually, you can see us here. Un momento. Bam. You can see our schedule. Again, we cost more StarCraft than anyone else out there. We just wrapped up with GSL. Tomorrow morning, we have Picasso Cup. That is Picasso Cup number 82. That's going to be tomorrow morning. Then we have GSL, of course, tomorrow evening. We have Code for Giants Cup. That's a Brazilian tournament on Friday. And we have RSL over the weekend as well. Saturday and Sunday, the final days of RSL Season 5 to crown our Season 5 champion for the RSL. True. That is going to be over the weekend. We'll be covering that via a co-stream. Otherwise, thanks for watching. If you want to support us, you can do so via following us on VODs, of course, on YouTube, or check us out here on Soup. Again, we do live cast on Soup on a regular basis as well. It has become another platform that we are regulars on, and of course, we do live cast GSL on a regular basis as well, and GSL CK. True, we are the only English casters of GSL CK, and we were the only English casters for the GSL qualifiers as well. So we got you covered with all that content. Otherwise, we're going to be wrapping up here for the time being. Like, what are your goals for casting the next series? True. I hope to bring good games for the fans. I hope to improve on my PvT coverage as well. On my PvT casting, I will cast good games for the fans, and I'll try to come in first place. Kappa. Like, will you go to Korea? God, no. That's way out of our budget. No. I would love to. I'd love to one day travel abroad, but nah, not anytime soon. Maybe in a couple of years. Maybe like 5 years down the road or something. I don't know. One of my goals, one of my big hopes in life was to maybe go to like a Pro League finals or something and go to Korea, but maybe one day. Maybe one day. But otherwise, we're going to be wrapping up here. So thanks for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for Group B of GSL, the round of 8. Or see you tomorrow morning for some Biggest Cup. See you then. See you then. Until then, thanks for watching. And we'll see you guys next time. Ciao, papi, ciao. Until next time, hasta luego.
Incoming transmission.